All right, welcome to another episode of Babbling Alchemy. In this episode, we're going to continue our discussion. So, if last time you missed that episode, we were talking about etymology, and then from there we branched out to Babylon, languages, the origins, a singular language, languages being dialects, and so on and so forth. So, today we'll continue that discussion, and we'll continue our dive in languages, alchemy, and wordplay. So thanks for joining us again today, brother. Let's jump right in today, and we'll continue off the top here with the topic of wordplay, languages, and alchemy.
Okay, so as we mentioned before, what we're dabbling with alchemy, which is the deepest part of religion in general. So when you want to stand, so to speak, or up your game in religion is a regiment. So basically, as we mentioned before, religion is a regiment that will it has a sharia. Sharia is a shara, and a shara comes from shira, which is a sail. So you're in the sea, you don't know what's happening. The sail will get you to a shoreline.
Guide you.
This shoreline will make you sure of why you're here. Once you're on the shoreline, you are able to enter the island,
the land.
That's the island where paradise is in. Once you get to the island, there's more work to be done. So that work will be done through alchemy. So, but that's when after you've done your regime, you've done your regimented, you've done the do's and the don'ts. Because they have a role.
Yeah.
So even if you are, if you want to become an alchemist, but you're still stuck with the worldly matters, it's not going to yield as much.
Yeah. You're distracted.
It depends on what is basically taking your attention.
Right.
The most.
Right.
What is what is eating from within you.
Yeah.
If you're pure, you'll reach to a degree is called a safa. A safa is Sufi. Sufi has nothing to do with what people connect Sufism with today. Sufi is from philo-Sufi.
Right.
So you will become a philosopher. You'll attain the philosopher's stone. You reach the philosopher's stone. It's and the only way to reach the philosopher's stone is through the retort. The retort is another symbol that represents the alchemist. Which the retort will take you into rhetorical questions, and rhetorical questions will increase your rhetoric, and the rhetoric will make you a philosopher.
Right.
The philosopher, being a philosopher, will make you reach higher stages of consciousness, being conscious of everything you face. And we're here addressing especially words, and that's what philosophers do. They extrapolate on words.
Okay.
So every word will become a paradise to you.
So what's the word of the day we're working with?
So we'll take an example today. We'll use paradise as an example. How can we deal with it? How do you dissect it? How do you play with the word? How can you enter the rabbit hole of every word that you see? How do you milk every word? Because every word will become the proverbial cow. You begin with the Fatiha. You begin with the opener. Every word has keys to it. So the keys are musical keys. How do you say it? Because everything goes back to vibrations. Everything goes back to waveform. So you bring all that back, and it's a play on word, and then you try to play with the word. You mull the word. Every word will become the proverbial wine of Jesus. You know, they always spoke about the wine that will never get you drunk, right? So every word, when you unwind every word, you will drink from that wine that will not get you drunk. That's the wine of wisdom.
Okay.
This is all proverbial the figures in order to bring the philosophers or those who are on the path closer to the source of wisdom.
Okay, can you paint a picture for us and the viewers of the relation between alchemy, the philosopher's stone, Sufi, like you said, as in philosophy, how all these are connected, how they are put together?
So, in order for you to become a Sufi or a philo-Sufi, more like, it has nothing to do with today's Sufism. Again, I want to reiterate this. Sufis are scientists, people who are who test and wonder and think. This is why it comes from the word the Safa. Safa means I think clearly.
Okay.
I can see clearly as well. Anything that becomes Safi became pure. So there's nothing wrong within it.
So it's attentiveness again, like we said, the currency of God
Denoising,
is attention,
basically.
is focus.
Yeah. So when you need to pay God with a currency, and the currency of God is attention, because they tell you pay attention,
Yeah.
and you'll be taught. So the philosopher's stone will be attained through rhetoric.
And
again, it's an example. This
it's
philosopher's stone will doesn't exist.
Okay,
It's
so
an alloy, mixing things that are is linking things together.
and alloys are generally made from things that don't go well together, or that generally are not integrated. For example, titanium and aluminum, in natural world, you'll never find them mixing together. But the process of alloying is to bring together two unlike materials to create something new. And that's what we're doing with words.
With words, absolutely. And that will basically get you to understand or unveil things to you that were impossible to think of. It's the easiest way to discover.
Yeah.
And you can use this in across all fields of
many
science.
And many discoveries, even in science or art or whatever, were accidental. How many times have we looked up the historical background of how such thing was invented, whether it's in chemistry, whether it's in mechanics, whether it's in art, whether it's in mathematics, and they are happenstance.
Yeah. So we're here to tell you that nothing is accidental, and there's a methodology to come up with something extremely new, because you can start at something that is like to you, you're unaware. You're basically the fool that is walking across the fields, and you start to smell the roses, right?
Yeah.
You stop to smell the roses. So every rose is a word.
Yeah.
And whenever you start to smell, you'll start to entangle yourself with the meaning of that smell, because smell is a quantum sense.
And rose also leads to prose, which is how knowledge was generally conveyed before we had the written word. Was prose, which is poetry, song, hymns, the psalms,
proverbs,
right? Proverbs.
Yeah.
So these
proverbs, verbs that are made by the prose, basically. Lay on.
Yes. Those were the ways that knowledge was encapsulated and transferred from generation to generation, was oral tradition. And there's different ways of doing that. So what we're trying to do is to learn the ways, the methodology of doing that, to be able to connect things together.
Retrofitting,
exactly.
Because this is what fits. Profitters.
Profits, yeah.
Yeah, they know where everything goes in, because they're pros at this game. This is a game.
Yeah.
And it can be played, and it's very easy to play. And there's a methodology to it. So once you master this methodology, once you learn how to do it, you can do it yourself. Everybody can do it.
And you mentioned the other day that you need a mentor for this. So once you learn the methodology, where does the mentor come into that picture? Do you want somebody to kind of cross-check or double-check your work against if you're playing the game? Do you need them more as a guide to show you where to go next?
It's more of an somebody who will inspire you.
Okay.
You need something that will inspire you. So
Right.
your mentor could be the cat. Your mentor could be the giraffe today.
Yeah.
You know, what's your mentor today could be the night, could be the day, could be the car, it could be the circle. So everything will become a mentor to you, because you're going to say, you're going to ask that mentor, what is the face of the truth from you?
Right.
What are you're going to investigate that mentor. You're going to say, okay, what are you trying to tell me today? This is something that will activate within you automatically the moment you put your attention and you understand. Once it clicks, it happens automatically. This is within every human being. It's not something special. And it can be taught.
Is there a name for this phenomena that you say, you know, once you start this, it starts to click inside you? It's innate to every human. What is? Can we name it? What is this called?
You become basically wisdom tooth extractor, a dentist that you extract wisdom.
Right.
And wisdom tooth, it will basically you're able to bite everything within that word.
Right.
You know, so that's how you're able to link. The more you do it, the better you'll become at it, of course.
Okay.
An old timer, will be a much better pro fitter than somebody who starts just today.
You mentioned play on words, so can you expand a little bit on what is play on with words?
Okay, we'll use an example today as para-dise. So para-dise, how do you play with the word? Para and dice, you know, like let's even if we go to the origin of the word, so it goes from it's an Arabic word that is called firdaus, para-dise, paradisio. Also it comes into Greek. Firdaus, so it's the place where it is green wherever you step. So wherever you step, there is green.
So the green.
That's what it means. Farra, it means where it basically it sprung. The word sprung or spring. And that's why, you know, the Philosopher's Stone springs water. It is the spring of wisdom. Right. So wherever you step is a stepping stone. See how we connected those together? A stepping stone will teach you, every stepping stone will be a lesson to you, will add to your wisdom, will add to your ammo. Paradise, like a pair of dice, you know, the place where you play. Right? That's the play on, another play on words.
Pair of dice.
So who's holding those hands though? Like who's holding the
dice?
The dice. Pair of dice. Paradise. The place where games are played. So the whole thing is based on a lot of playfulness. There's the playfulness aspect of the of paradise is what drives you to do more. Because then you're enjoying the game. You do not need to die to enter paradise. You can enter paradise today. And then you become, eventually, you follow those stepstones, and then you become the evergreen man. You know, that's when you become a legend. That's when you can extract things and inventions to benefit everyone. Pair of dice, paradise, pardos, firdaus, the place where it is the park, the hidden place, and it takes us to how do you play with this? Again, we go back to it, where what do we know of parados is Jannah in Arabic. And Jannah in Arabic means the hidden place again. And Jannah, Jinnah, it's the hidden place also can be a valley, right? Which is the Green Valley. People say that Firdaus is the valley, the valley of the lush valley, right?
Yeah. And
It's an oasis as well.
yeah, and Jesus said something about walking in the valley of shadow, something to that effect.
Where he's walking in.
Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. Yeah, so
Even though I walk through. Yeah,
even though I've walked through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me, from Psalms 24.
Okay, so I will fear no evil. Why? Because he deveils everything. The evil means the veil. Like, even if you look at the word itself, put it together in a different way, you have the veil.
Yeah.
Eveil means veil. Whenever you deveil, you unveil that word.
Right.
You understand, you enter paradise. Because paradise is behind curtains. It's the hidden place.
Correct.
The curtains are the veils.
Yeah.
And the veils, lo and behold, is satin, right? Satin is a type of fabric.
Yeah.
But it's also satin, Satan. It tells you that this fabric is a see-through fabric, that you can see through it.
Yeah.
But you need to look.
It's thin enough that you can see through it.
It's thin through, but you can also pierce through that
right
fabric. You can put it aside and then enter paradise.
Yeah.
Because in the Quran it says, قِيلَ ادْخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. It was said. There is a word that has been spoken. And it says, enter that paradise.
Yeah.
So basically, remove the curtain, welcome to paradise.
Okay.
So every word will become a paradise to you. Right. Every word will be a rabbit hole. What is a paradise? How do you access paradise? By becoming the Alice in Wonderland and following the rabbit.
Yeah.
Because the rabbit will make you a rabbi, a Rabbani. You know, that's why you have the
rabbit symbology.
Yeah, he's the Bani Israel.
Yeah.
He is that the bunny that you follow into the rabbit hole. Yeah. And it's a play on of Bani Israel.
So let's talk about I think
he's the playboy, right? Bunny is the playboy, right?
Yeah, the playboy.
So you play with words. Again, it's this is extremely rich once you look at it and you try to mine. The deeper you go, it will keep going. It's fractal. You know, every word has fractal reality to it.
Yeah.
That's why everything is infinite. Every single word, the more you dig in it, the more you will find. And it will take you deeper and deeper. And it's a never-ending chasm.
Yeah.
It's like a black hole. Every word is a black hole.
Okay, so how do you become this word investigator? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
We keep referring to a methodology, so can we shed some more light on this investigation method?
So, again, like, let the word speak, right? You sit before the word and you start to interrogate every word. You start to question, wonder. You enter Wonderland. And Wonderland is where you become the investigator. You have you start to question the word and let the word speak, and then the word will tell you a lot of secrets within it. And you start to mull over, and you start to introspect, start to think, and you start to play on words. How does this work? Mull, turn. Think about it from a different musical tune, you know, the word like paradise and paradise, and speak it slowly, faster, loop it in your brain, think about it, flip it. You know, look at the other side of the coin, look at the dark side of the moon, so to speak, you know. So it's the duality,
right?
But it's infinite dualities. Every word has to offer.
Okay.
That's why you'll never run out of ideas.
Yeah.
This is the easiest way to enter Atlantis. Atlantis is a hidden place. Again, it's paradise.
Yeah.
So, but you need to unveil, deveil the veil in order to enter Atlantis, right?
So can we talk about, in the Quran, Allah says, Asma' kullaha, that's what was taught to Adam, the names of everything. What is is that language? Is that the words that we're trying now to relearn, to
So,
research?
yeah, so you know what, when we said that everything started with the singularity
word.
moment, the
Mm.
big bang,
Yeah.
the atom, and within that atom,
Yeah.
God embedded all names.
Right.
So that atom is an infinite atom,
Mm.
and that atom takes you to Adam.
Yeah.
It's a play on word, you know, the Adam, atom, Adam and Eve.
Can you break down the word Adam for us? Adam, as it is in Arabic.
Yeah,
What secrets
it's a
does it?
state of being. It's basically when God spoke about Adam, he said, خلق الإنسان في أحسن تقويم.
The best of methods.
So the best form, the archetype, the archetype of human is Adam.
Yes.
And Adam will basically, and then he was brought أسفل سافلين. So he was brought to the lowest of forms.
Okay.
So what does that mean? So he was Adam, the complete, the perfect human being, the archetype of humans. And then he was brought down to being a baby.
Yeah.
This is it. It's very a baby cannot do anything.
Right.
But as you progress, there is a possibility that you can reach that Adam archetype, or you can get close enough.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, your Satan is like far. You begin as Satan, and then you get closer and closer and closer until you become Adomim, like, or Adamian, you know, or we as it is spelled in Arabic, Adami. Adami is like when you get the accolade of becoming an Adam.
Okay.
So all those stages or states of being can be attained. They're accolades.
Yeah.
They are medals that you can attain in your Olympics.
And there's also the aspect we talked yesterday about etymology and atum. You said atum, logi, or lugha.
Yeah.
Was the
so everything is embedded in language
so atum,
again.
Adam, adum. It's very close phonetically.
Absolutely.
It's very similar.
And it's the fire, right? The fire, the black fire, because adum is red.
Okay. Is that the color red?
Because it's from the word dam. Adam.
Dam is blood.
Is blood.
Yeah.
And blood is red.
Right.
But we're talking about the Adam. There's an aleph before.
Okay.
So we're talking about the alpha blood.
Yeah. Adam is the blood?
Yeah, so the alpha blood.
Okay.
The alpha blood is basically the alpha, the archetype.
Okay.
The top. The tip top, basically.
Yeah.
And you can attain the alpha blood. It's not something that is special, or if you put effort into it, if you work on it, you'll be rewarded.
Yeah.
It's like how much are you willing to put, and that will basically give you the results. Whatever you put in that cauldron, in that pot, because your head, the crucible is your head.
Yeah.
So basically whatever you put in there, it will become the melting pot.
Yeah.
And then that melting pot will produce all the magic.
Yeah.
The cauldron of the witch, right? And that cauldron of the witch is your brain.
Right.
Because you say witch is another play on which, what, like, you know, which is it?
Yeah, which one? Which is it? Yeah. Which
so
are you?
That's how you spill. Spill the beans that are in the cauldron. You spill the spell.
Yeah. Okay. And can you tell us about Adam and the concept of sin, you know, eating from the tree, the forbidden fruit, and that whole story?
This goes in tandem to teach us a lot of realities that we've discovered. But we from this sort of methodology, what we're trying to do is to attain new wisdom, right? But we can show you how this works. Like Adam is the sin, the sign, and then you have the cosine, the basically partner in crime, Eve, right? they're always depicted as partners in crime.
Yeah.
Right?
Adam and Eve.
Yeah, sine and cosine. A sine and cosine takes us to trigonometry, right?
Yeah.
And trigonometry takes us to the what's the relationship in sine and cosine? Can you put that up on the screen?
Yes, let me. Here we go. Sine and cosine.
Okay, so sine and cosine, they need what? They do need time, the time element.
Yes.
You know, they need to spend time together, and then they produce what? They produce the helix.
Yeah.
So the helical structure, where does that take us into? That takes us into genealogy.
DNA.
That takes us into DNA. And the DNA, DNA is the basically the way.
Okay.
Genealogy.
Yeah.
And we all go back to Adam, which is the gene.
Yes.
So what does Adam represent to humans? It's a gene. So God created Adam.
Yeah.
God created that gene.
A gene that needs to be activated.
So basically when people say, we were created from monkeys. No, this would work actually beautifully when there is somebody who intervenes to change that monkey into human. How do you intervene? You do need an engineer. So that will basically bring those who believe in science and the theory of evolution and the people who believe in creation, right?
Yeah.
They work in tandem now because you do need a genetic engineer in order to bring about the genetic change within species to form new species, right? So this works now in harmony. You bring about harmony between science and religion.
So if we take Adam, if we step back for a moment, if we take Adam as a gene, as you're saying, and does that mean then that Adam is a gene in all of us that is a dormant gene that can be activated?
So absolutely, it can be activated. It can be activated through epigenetics, and that's when you become like epigenetics is another play on epic genetics. When you become epic, right? So that's when your genetic gets evolving, and you're becoming the cause to bring about better genes to the gene pool. You're becoming the reason to bring about better progeny to this world. Why? Because now you're becoming an actor. So that's how, in my opinion, that's how brains increase in size. When you have people that are interacting with the world around them, as opposed to eaters, somebody who just eats, sleep, and go to bed, produce children. So that in a way, you decide whether you want to become a higher being or a lower resonance being, lower frequency. That's why you always see in statues, the Romans and the Greeks, especially the Greeks, you see that they have a lot of muscles, they're big, they're thinking, and they have a very small manhood. What does that small manhood means? It basically it shows you civility, shows you that their brain,
humility.
It's more or less like to show you that they're thinking with their brain, as opposed to thinking with their rod. So higher vibration. And thinkers.
This is a good.
And they always make sure that you see their manhood. They show it as small. It doesn't mean it is. It's just what does it symbolize?
So that is a good segue into our topic of sin. So again, the Adam and Eve story that's pervasive, that they ate from the tree, the forbidden fruit, and then they were kicked out. Can you tell us a little bit about that story? What is kind of the more hidden meaning or the deeper meaning of that story from an alchemical and etymological and a wordplay perspective?
Okay, so whenever you tell somebody not to press a button,
Mm.
the first thing they want to do is what?
Press the button.
Press the button.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what this is embedded within us.
Mm.
You know, wanting to know
Mm.
why. Like this,
Curiosity.
especially when you prevent somebody from doing something.
Curiosity.
Curiosity is what differentiates us from like
Animal kingdom.
many creatures.
Yeah, animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you do have some wafts of curiosity in animals, like in
Mhm.
terms of cats.
Yeah.
Curiosity, kill.
The cat.
Exactly. And there's a lot of embedded meaning in that, but that will not
Another
be,
episode.
yeah, another episode that will not make this a PG episode. So that basically will bring you into knowing, you know, the psyches of humans. Like God created humans and then gave them a book, the playbook. This playbook is the Torah, the Quran, the Vedas,
Yeah.
the Bible.
Yeah. So on.
Yeah, it's a playbook, so you can basically it makes sense of this creation. Because this, you are within a paradise, and you are veiled from other paradises.
Right.
So you have the keys, you own the keys. The keys are within language. That's what differentiates us from any other creature on this earth.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy topic. Is there anything else you want to add on this? I think that's a good summary.
Okay, so yeah, the original state of being, this brings you back to becoming an Adami. So an Adam-like.
Mic closer.
Yeah. So an Adam-like.
Yeah.
And what would we? Entering Wonderland is a must, as we spoke about. Paradise is within every word. But where you're approaching every word as a universe. A universe is like when you unify all the verses into
a single
verse.
Yeah.
And that verse was kun.
Kun, yes.
Be. And that's what it is. It's spelling bee contest.
Yeah. Very nice.
Okay.
That was a great discussion. Thank you very much, brother, for filling us in on some more alchemy and some more wordplay. Thanks very much for listening at home, and we'll continue this discussion in the next episode, continue to give you examples, teach you the methodology over the coming episodes, weeks, and months. Thanks very much for tuning in. See you next time.
Thank you.